Hailing from a small village in Madhya Pradesh, Maya Vishwakarma has been empowering women by providing and educating them about sanitary hygiene across the country. Her distinguished efforts have earned her the name Padwoman of India. And so today, we have with us Maya Vishwakarma in an enthralling chat. So, can you tell me about the life you led before you started taking initiatives to eradicate the myths surrounding menstruation?
Yeah, so my life was pretty simple, just like the achievers who achieve like the in terms of educations, good job, good salary, and all. And it's kind of a life where you can have everything, whatever you want. But then living there is like not satisfying because I always come back to my home in a village where I'm sitting right now. So in that way, if I see like I'm doing some injustice to myself, that I had to lead that life, but that is not satisfying. So I had to come back and do something for the social in terms of here who are less fortunate and who really need a help.
Did you physically and emotionally suffer from the menstruation taboos back in the day?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think all the girls they go through this when they have a first time, or when they have the time when they are not prepared. Maybe the place is not right for them, the environment is not for them, maybe they are traveling or something. So I had many times, like when I had periods, I was living with my relatives, like my uncle and aunts. So you can't tell them like each and everything, and you had to be very cautious about each and everything because it's a big taboo, and also big what do you call is like it's not like pure thing, it's unpure thing. You are in impure. So when you go anywhere, did you touch this, did you touch this, in the kitchen or in puja ghar and all. Even being a girl, when they had puja, or anywhere when in our society when we had puja, you are always separated. So that is also, I think it's a big trauma that you are missing some celebration and some festival in your family. So I think every girls go through that when they grew up in such areas. So I had a similar experience.
So, you left your well to do job in California to take this path forward. What exactly inspired you to do so?
Inspiration comes from like within myself, that the biggest thing is like what you will lose. This question I always put in front of me. What if this world end, and what you left with? So the question comes, like the answer comes is like nothing. Like we had only one life, we have certain time, and in that certain time you have to do so many things, whether you can enjoy yourself and then earn so much money, and then lead your life in a solo house in a Silicon Valley, or you have a choice that you can give this energy, this positive energy, to the people around, those who really need. So this is my own philosophy which I followed, and then of course my family gives me the biggest strength that you can do it, because you have that experience, you have that stamina, you have seen the world around you, and you have been through so many places, and you covered this journey all alone in your life. So I think you can do it. So biggest strength is my parents. They always gave me this freedom.
So, tell us more about your work and how did you come to create Sukarma Foundation?
So it was not planned because I never planned like 10 years stuff. I always plan like instant what is I'm going to do in next day. So similarly, like this Sukarma came out of my social work, which I really want to do something in India, especially around my hometown. And my first priority to work towards this menstrual hygiene. So then I started Sukarma Foundation in 2016, And then through that foundation, we started menstrual hygiene sanitary napkin project, where we manufacture this low tension pad, and we gave this brand so that the women, they can get empowered, and then they can also learn about the hygiene and livelihood, and they can get the pads for themselves and their families. I started this menstrual hygiene campaign where I went to 15 tribal district, and we organized a workshop and seminars, and then I went to different tribal hostels where I can get the thousands of girls from all around areas. And then later we realized like healthcare is also one of the integral part of our society, which is not here in our area. So I should start something in healthcare. So then medicine healthcare center, just like a Delhi Mohalla clinic, started here 2 years back, which I have shown you just right now. It's a close. I'm sitting right there.
In the current time, would you say that rural girls are they generally educated about the necessity for sanitary hygiene?
Not at all, actually. 99% girls, they don't know actually when they have a first period. Maybe few girls, and because the biggest issue and the biggest problem, I can relate. I live in US, and I see how the girls there, when they are going to primary school, and how the school and the whole system, the whole ecosystem around them is teaching them about the menstrual hygiene. So we are not giving her any information, not from the school. I'm talking about special, like in the remote area where I'm sitting. The schools doesn't have even the female teacher. They don't have the textbook of any kind of study material about the pads or period. They don't have a toilet in their schools. So imagine how the girl will learn, like how she will access that information. There is a statistic like 70% women in the village, they are not using the pads. I think that statistic is wrong. More than actually 90% women, they are not using the pad. Even you provide the pads in their house or in the village, they won't even use it because of the lack of information and the lack of the budget.
Tell us about the challenges and problems you've faced till now.
So challenges is always there. I said, if you take a different paths from the trail, it is not easy. The trail is always like, you can walk in. But if you really want to experience more adventure around the mountain, the roads won't be same. So challenges is definitely, it is there. And being a girl is a more challenges in a remote area, extremely remote area. So for me is like to convince the people that this is going to make an impact and this is going to make a big change. That is a big challenge for me, because in our area, half of the population, they still put this well kind of, they cover their mouth and nobody can see them. But now the change is here, like all the young daughter-in-law and all those, they are working like a freely, and they feel like very empowered and independent.
Rightfully said. So my next question is, the movie Padman, you earlier talked about it. Do you think it has created an impact among people, especially rural families, because it battled these taboos about menstruation?
In a way that if I see the rural India, honestly, like 90% people, they haven't even watched the movie. 90%. You can go around any village, remote village. You can ask the people, have you watched the Padman? They won't say no. Kya Padman kaun si picture? But if you go to the city area, town area, college, and international, like, I live in San Francisco, and there, when the people hear like, hey, I'm working on menstrual hygiene or sanitary pad, they directly, instantly relate to the movie, because they have watched that movie. all the NRIs who are living out of the country, because they can afford the movie, the theater, the times, and everything, that luxury. They definitely watched it. But in the rural India, especially, like, the labor class and the middle class and the lower class, they haven't watched the movie.
So you're known as the Padwoman of India. How do you feel about that? And also, are there still any roadblocks that you come across while educating rural women about menstruation now?
Yeah, roadblock is definitely a lot of roadblocks, because first of all, in our area, in a rural area, you still have to isolate the men and the women to talk about this issue, and you cannot go like all yourself and start talking about this. It is nonsense. So you need to find the right person from them, especially the women, and then you convey your message. They organize the workshop, or a kind of meeting around the women. And the other challenges is how to reach the last women in the society, and how to provide them a sanitary pad, and how to address their problem. So their problem is like they are financially weak. They have problem that they don't have public transport. They are caged in the house or the neighborhood. So then who will go and give them those pads? Where you will find the right person who can take in charge of these? So these are very small stuff, and then very kind of key points where you need to address. So these are definitely, it's a lifelong issues. How I feel about being a pad woman, actually I feel the same, because it's just like you are doing something, and then people recognizing because you are doing something. So it feels good, but then I'm the same person, I'm the same girl, because you get to know more issues, more problems, and you are meeting wonderful people around the world who are working so many good projects, and also you meet impactful people which are really influencing the society. So this is kind of very special, that I have this privilege through this work, that I can talk to you even in a Zoom, and also attend many conferences. So yes, for sure, it makes a huge difference.
Well, that's great. That's amazing. Coming to my last question. So, how has your efforts gotten you and the foundation so far? What is the success rate of your work?
Actually, this is a good question. So, nobody asked me this question before. So my answer is, honestly, I never rate a success or failure in my work. I only rate efforts and the delivery, like how much you have delivered. So there is no percent, there is no marking. It's just like your feeling. If you made a smile on few people by your work and your efforts, I feel I'm the most successful person in this world. And someday is like, if you haven't done anything, and then you feel like, hey, I really have to do something, because this day is just going like that. So success and failure is not in my list. I really feel that more people get benefited, and then they will tell me like how much successful work is like, this kind of work by Sukarma Foundation or by me.
All right. So I guess it's been a really great time talking to you, and I hope you do well later. You have more success in your field, and you can reach as much as women you can throughout the country, even in other places where maybe the topic of menstruation is also not very familiar. So I wish you success in that as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's really pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.